Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin now. He's a member of the Senate Armed Services Committee. Great to have you, Senator. Putin made it clear today he's in no hurry to agree to a ceasefire, but has a long list of demands. President Trump has already agreed that Ukraine will be barred from NATO and that Russia can keep much of the land it invaded. Should Trump concede more to Putin going forward?
Well, President Trump is bringing them to the table, and that's what Biden couldn't do. President Trump is at least even having the conversation about a ceasefire. The war has been going on 3 years. President Trump, during his campaign, he made it very clear that he wants to stop the killing. Now, at the end of the day, these two countries, Putin, Zelensky for Ukraine, Putin for Russia, they're going to have to work this deal out. Unfortunately, right now, Ukraine's not really negotiating from a point of strength. And anytime you want to go in negotiations, you either want to be looking eye to eye with each other or you want to have the upper hand. That's not where Zelensky is sitting right now.
No.
And this is a war that probably can't be won by Ukraine, and they have to find a way out. Is it going to be on favorable terms? Unfortunately, I'd probably say not, but killing isn't the option to keep moving forward, because at some point it's a definition of insanity, and that's what's been going on for 3 years.
Whatever Putin does in this agreement, should they reach an agreement, do you trust Vladimir Putin to keep his word?
Well, I think there's two things to do here. One, I believe he will keep his word when President Trump is in office, because he fears President Trump. He knows President Trump is also a man of his word. So there's going to be an agreement, even if it's a handshake agreement, with President Trump and Putin. And I don't believe for a second that Putin would want to go back on his word with President Trump. The problem that we have is moving forward. So there's two solutions we have in Congress to keep them accountable. One, to keep Putin at the table. If he chooses to walk away, Congress could start initiating sanctions on Russia, which can and will hurt their economy. Their economy is pretty fragile right now. The ruble is not in great shape. And then moving forward, part of the peace deal could be sanctions from European countries and also from the United States against Russia if they were to break the treaty or whatever ceasefire what kind of ceasefire is signed moving forward. So there's a way to keep them. Ultimately, if a guy wants to go to war that runs a country like Russia, he can also ultimately do it, but there will be a price to pay.
Yeah, but sanctions didn't stop him from invading Ukraine in the first place.
Well, we had a very weak president in the White House at that time, too. He saw the disastrous withdrawal out of Afghanistan. I mean, when you allow al-Qaeda to come right back in after someone we've been fighting for 20 years to take over a country, there's a big problem with that. He saw weakness, and he took advantage of the weakness. He didn't move one bit when Trump was in office the first time.
Moments ago, I want to get your reaction to the news. Senator Chuck Schumer, Democrat, obviously, on the Senate floor, said he will vote yes on this Republican stopgap spending bill to keep the government open, saying, quote, a shutdown would give Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Doge the keys to the city, the state, and the country. Do you know if more Democrats will follow suit? You need 8 Democrats to cross over and vote yes on this bill for it to pass.
It's going to pass. I said that I actually am surprised they caved this fast. I figured they'd cave tomorrow. It's not surprising at all, because how are they going to explain this, Elizabeth? They voted for this CR in September when Biden was in office. They voted for it in December when Biden was in office. And now this is still the CR, the same CR, the same continuing resolution that they voted already on twice. And now they're going to vote against it because Trump is in office. It doesn't make any sense. But now he's literally in 24 hours said yesterday that he's not going to give the support. Now he is, because he's going to try to protect the federal employees. Where was that talk yesterday?
Yeah.
He's just, unfortunately, Chuck Schumer's not a good leader. That's why he failed when he was leading the Senate last year. Keep in mind, these appropriation bills were on his desk for 6 months, and he chose not to move a single bill and said he wanted to continue running the country underneath the CR. It's the leftovers we're having to deal with because of his weak leadership when he was leader of the Senate. Thank goodness we have a very strong leader in John Thune.
All right, but bottom line, you're saying that the government will stay open. I do want to get your reaction
Absolutely.
to what's happening with the tariffs. You said last night that tariffs are a tax that is passed on to the American consumer and that everybody knows that. Here is the White House spokesperson, Caroline Leavitt, just this week.
He's actually not implementing tax hikes. Tariffs are a tax hike on foreign countries that, again, have been ripping us off. Tariffs are a tax cut for the American people.
Now, you are a very successful businessman. You are, just like Trump, a businessman. Both of you say no, that these tariffs are not tax cuts for American consumers.
Well, what this is going to do is put our economy back on track and give us an opportunity for businesses, one, to have a larger market to go to. It's going to keep getting markets or countries that's taking advantage of our generosity and allow us to have equal playing field. The president has been very clear that he wants reciprocal tariffs on countries that doing business with us, with the exception of Canada and Mexico, which that's on a national security issue. We can discuss that later. But all these other countries, he's saying, hey, listen, if you want free trade with us, we'll charge you zero, you charge us zero. We want access to your market, you want access to ours.
Right.
That's not what's happening right now. So for him to adjust it, go ahead.
My question to you is, tariffs are not a tax cut for American citizens.
No, tariffs are going to be passed on to the consumer in one way or another. A business can only absorb so much. And so when you're going to do a 25% tariff or a 6% tariff, it is going to be passed on to that product. And so the consumer is ultimately going to buy it. But what's going to happen in this case is it's going to bring manufacturing back to the United States. That's why we've already seen nearly $2 trillion already committed to the United States to build manufacturing plants here underneath President Trump. Okay. It's going to create the jobs, and we're going to have access to their markets, which will ultimately bring down the price of goods. This is just a stepping stone to get to where we need to go.
All right. Senator Mark Wade Mullin from the great state of Oklahoma. Really appreciate you joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me on.
All right.